My name is Malik Jones, and we're live today. And I would like to introduce my guest from the APRC, and of course, biggest party in the country, Momodou Lamin Badjie. Nice to welcome you on this platform, in-depth media platform. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much, Alaji Malik. It's a pleasure being here. And I also want to thank all your viewers and say good evening to everyone.
Good. We're going to look today at the political landscape in the country as we transition from, let's say, registration to post-registration, which was, if anybody has anything to verify about the process of the registration, up to the time we went past that to nomination, what transpired after nomination, and now the campaigning, which is on. We're hitting some little war of words here and there between some rivals. But anyway, the voter registration exercise. As we speak right now, we are made to understand that there are 900,000 plus voters already registered. How did you see the exercise, having been in the APRC for a very, very long time?
Yes, thank you very much. The exercise was conducted peacefully, no problems. Only a few problems that we had when the UDP, monitoring team had some issues with certain corners of the country. Apart from that, there are no other issues that emerged during the registration. And the other thing maybe that is also the issue of the attestation. The mayor of Banjul being given the authority to attest people to register to be given attestations for them to have voters cards, which is challenging the courts, and the courts has ruled in favor of the civil society that challenge that it's illegal. Our worry now is those people are deleted from the system. If yes, what's their fate? Because IEC did not make any pronouncement in regards to that.
Are you surprised that the IEC did not make any pronouncement regarding that? Because we're trying to make sure that everything is done in the right way. I mean, this is it's a trying democracy, and as we go through, anything that goes wrong should be put right.
Yeah, IEC should make a pronouncement simply because the number that is affected is over 3,000 people, according to the IEC, or according to the people that petition the attestation. And those people need to know their fate. And every party also should be interested to know what's the fate of those people, because we are going to elections and they are citizens, they have the right to vote. So what's their fate? That needs to be known. But IEC did not. So we assume that IEC has ignored the court order and allowed those people to go to vote, and only deleted those that they said there was a lot of there was double entry, and which they have also made some deletion where they talked about 3,000 pros that was that have been double registered, so which they have deleted. So this is the situation, and I hope that will not bring problems. That these people are given the chance to vote. If they don't, they can create noise.
Absolutely, they can create noise. But then, okay, at the end of the day, the voter registration exercise actually went through, and nominations began on the 30th, and of course, and ended on November 5th. Another new development in the Gambia's political scenario. When we went to the nomination exercise, we found out that there were at least something close to 13 political parties, 13 independents, 26 people all vying for the election. Did it in any way surprise you that Gambia, with 1.2 million people, I mean, a registered voter of 962,000 plus a few hundreds, will see 26 people vying for the presidency?
Yes, it's because the borough administration is that costly. Simply because when they came into office, they were not interested 100% into the reform of the electoral reform, or they were interested in certain sections of the act that has affected the UDP party. And why I'm specifically mentioning UDP, because UDP formed the majority at the National Assembly, and their interest was to change the age bracket and also revise, the deposit for contesting elections, because it used to be $500,000 if you want to run for presidency. They revised it to 10,000. So every Tom, Dick and Harry can jump from this, go and deposit $10,000 and run for presidency. The National Assembly has been revised to 5,000. Councillors say for a councillor you have to deposit 1,250. For a mayor, 2,500.
You find that ridiculous?
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
If you go to certain countries, for you to vie for presidency, you put a lot of millions on the table. Because that's the reason being, you need to have people that definitely has the capacity and resources to run the country. Because you cannot look at a poor man like me from the streets and say, there's an opportunity, let me go and grab it. Let me just go and then look for a $10,000 and deposit and then run for presidency. If I'm lucky to win, then that's it. If I'm not lucky, I've made a name, and then the next thing is I have something that I'm going to look for. So these are things definitely that the next National Assembly should look at. Review the electoral laws, review the electoral policies, and try to put up policies that will definitely redirect the way our parties are, the way elections are conducted in this country.
Post that, we went to nominations, and again, but prior to the nomination, some people actually withdrew their bid for the nomination. But at the end of the day, I think we got about 24 people or so who actually went, inclusive the parties, of course, that went for the nomination. And it was slashed down by the IEC to 5 political parties and 1 independent candidate. Now, let's look at the nightmare, the monumental nightmare that the IEC would have faced had it gone to give all those people the yes, to allow them to get nominated. 26 candidates means 26 ballot boxes in 1,554 polling stations across the country. That is.
Indeed, that would have happened, but so good for them. Some of them did not qualify, so they have to come down to 6. But it's definitely a concern that we need to look into that issue. Yes, IC wanted to introduce ballot paper, but looking at the nature of this country, ballot paper, some of us went against it with genuine reasons. And the reasons are, one, looking at the period that they want to introduce it, there would have been not been enough education sensitization to make people understand the paper voting process. Because it's like they give you a number of papers, you look at the one you want, you tick, and you drop it in the box. How many people are educated in this country? Look at the average Gambian that are not educated. The process will take them a longer time for them to understand how to do a ballot paper voting. This is why we advocated that they must, continue with the token. And secondly, it could have been a violation of the Constitution that has said that ballot voting in the Gambia should be by token. So it has to go to the National Assembly for amendment, and then if it is amended, they have to do a lot of advocacy to sensitize people, educate the people to understand the whole process. Definitely it would have been a nightmare for IEC, but it is also part of their responsibilities to make sure they provide the requisite logistics required to conduct the elections, which we believe the government, being the principal funder, would have provided the resources required for them to run the elections.
Some people went to the nominations with some very lousy mistakes, and some people did not have the requisite number of voter registration backing their nominations. Others gave excuses of breakdown of their vehicle to transport these very same voter registrations. Some people said they forgot their voter's card. Some people even went to the IEC empty, saying that they travel. I mean, did you see any form of seriousness in some of these aspirants?
No, some of the, it's just like what I said earlier on, that someone saws an opportunity and he wants to just get into that opportunity. Because you cannot, if you are a serious candidate, you must know the requirements for one to contest for elections. And IEC had made these things clear, and they have published it, a long time ago, giving people enough notice with all the criteria and everything being circulated both on the electronic and print media. So, I mean, if anybody goes to IEC without those things, you are a joke. And you want to take this country, you want to take Gambians, you want to really not taking Gambians seriously. And you are telling the Gambian people that you are not competent and you are not trustworthy for us to elect you into office, even the smallest office as a councillor.
All right. Let me take you now to post nominations, and we saw, should I say, we saw two people go down to the courts. Dr. Sise has taken the IEC to court, and Henry Juf also went to the courts asking the court for an injunction to the campaign. Henry Juf, that was Henry Juf. We also heard about my party wanting to, we haven't heard him go to the court, but there was, he said he was going to the courts. Now, the necessity here. For me, I've seen it as waste of time. When you knew what you did, why do you want to go and challenge IEC in court? Most of them have been disqualified because they don't have the required number of people to nominate them per constitutional region. The regulation is saying that at least minimum 200 people should nominate you in every region. So if you cannot make a number of 200 people, why are you taking IEC to court? You're just wasting your time, resources, and energy. And then some of them, they don't even bring their documents are not complete. As you said earlier on, some of us ask questions, why do we have that number of political parties in this country when we have a smaller population, that we could have only have 2 or 3 political parties, and everybody goes into the political parties, and we go to elections, and then the president is elected among them. We have seen big countries like United States, where they have only 2 political parties, 2 major political parties that always go into the ring, the Democrats and the Republicans. And then, there are other countries also around Africa where only 1 or 2 political parties always go to the ring. So why the Gambia, the smallest country, with 20-something, almost about 13 to going towards about 18 or more political parties? And all of them could not even meet the criteria to put up a candidate. So why that? For me, some of us, we think they are briefcase political parties because they have seen that as an opportunity that they can make money. Because if you have a political party, you go and look for funding and people start giving you funds. So some of them see that as an opportunity to make money. But it doesn't worth Gambia to have more than 3 political parties. I want you to buttress that some of these guys were really opportunities, because when you look at the when they failed to get nominated, they jumped on the bandwagon of the main political parties. Marisol joined UDP, Tamsi Jase, Bojang, Shaktijan Haidara, and you continue to name them. They all started, but then what happened is that they did not go with the crowd to tell how serious they were, that they have people behind them. They just went solo and just started to tell President Barrow that, hey, look, we are now behind you. If I was President Barrow, I'd ask them, where are your people? Does this buttress the fact that these people are just mere opportunists?
No, they're confirming to IEC that what you did was right. We don't have the crowd. That's why we could not present, all the nominated requirements for the nomination, number of signatories for nomination.
So they give some money to the IEC, because I don't think the
that's
IEC
why because when they go, if you have a crowd and you move into President Barrow to endorse his candidature, you have to go with your crowd.
Absolutely.
But if you go to President Barrow with maybe 2 or 3 people that accompanies you, and you are not bringing any crowd to show President Barrow that this is my crowd, then you are definitely vindicating the IEC. that you are not qualified to run for presidency because you don't have a crowd. You don't have people to endorse you, don't have signatures, enough signatures to endorse you to run for presidency. And this means that some of them even forge the signatories for people to nominate them. They might go because the voter list is out. I can have a copy of the voter list, put it down, and then just write everybody's name and sign on their behalf. Which people fail to understand. The IEC, which is criminal, which they feel the IEC has, when you send them these nomination papers, they verify. They have a team that is, their job is only to verify all the signatures submitted by the candidates before the day of the scrutiny. That's why they're able to know who got what and who got what. That's why they're able to tally and know that, yes, you, at this region, you are shortfall of this number of votes. Because they have done the scrutiny, they have assessed all the signatures that you have, comparing with what they have in their data, they came to realize that the signatures you have are all forged.
Naturally, the IC could take them to court if it so desires. But I'm sure in this very tense times and in the era of trying to build upon our democracy, I think the IEC will just say, let the bygones be bygones. But
don't be surprised that you heard that IEC have sued some of them.
Oh, yes.
Because
to be transparent and
yes, to be transparent, to be fair. Because they are all taken to court because they said they did not, some of them said they have passed the test. And IEC just dropped them on the line. So because they have taken IEC to court, IEC also will want to prove to the Gambian people that yes, what they did was right. And they might prosecute certain people. And don't be surprised to see them prosecuting people.
You're watching us live on in-depth media. This is Politico. My guest, Momodou Lamin Badjie, is a staunch, not only supporter, he's a militant of the APRC, and now joining forces with the NPP of President Adama Barrow. We will come to that later on, but let us still stick around the issue of these people who have decided to jump on the bandwagon of President Adama Barrow. We have decided to say that these guys are really opportunists. President Barrow will not tell him, no, sorry, you cannot join me, you were out there. Because in politics, you don't drive away.
Yes.
I think you embrace.
You embrace.
Rather than say, sorry, you cannot join me. But are you surprised that Malik joined the UDP, went to endorse the UDP?
I'm not surprised because what Malik wanted, I know he can get that from Barrow.
What is
what
one that I don't know?
Is the vice president.
Oh my God.
And I know asking Barrow for vice presidency, Barrow will not endorse that. So Barrow failure to endorse that, that's why I said, is UDP promising Malik that they're going to make her vice president if they win? If that's the case, then that's why I say endorse the UDP.
But UDP will not give a vice president.
Which I knew
to Malik
that UDP will not. Looking at the team, the group around UDP, the elites, the so-called elites of UDP, because all those people, the elites that are surrounding UDP, are there because of a reason. Some of them have been promised because some of them wanted to form political parties. They wanted to contest for presidency. But the UDP approached them and then convinced them to support their party, to join their party with conditions. So it will be very difficult for UDP to appoint Malik vice president if they win, and I know they will not win.
Let's look at somebody else who went to endorse UDP. Bakary Bunjadabo, in the First Republic, he served in the Second Republic. Should have retired by now.
Yes.
But he went to endorse the United Democratic Party. What do you think of that?
Now, Bibi is an opportunist. In the sense, Bibi, the reason why he formed his own political party was to follow him with PPP. Because he wanted the leadership of PPP, and then he was not elected to lead the PPP, so he revolted against PPP. He did everything. It's not possible to reverse the decision against Papanjai. When Papanjai was elected, the Secretary General party of the PPP. So they let him, that's why he went and formed his own political party. And then he went and joined UDP, knowing that might be what he might want from NPP or led coalition, he might not get that. because PPP is there, so he can join them. That's why he went and joined UDP. That's my thinking. And also, the other aspect of it is like you're looking at, the leadership of UDP and Bibi Dabo. There are connections, and what they're advocating for is what they say in Maninka Fasa. They said it. So it's like I'm seeing Bibi Dabo joining UDP because he's going for Maninka Fasa. Maninka and UDP, the leadership is Maninka, and they want that tribal thing they brought the tribalism to support each other in this election.
Do you think it will boil down to tribalism at the end of the day before we get to the elections? Do you think people will just want to say, yes, I am this tribe, I'm going to vote for this party which proposes?
A good number of Gambians.
It's actually against the constitution.
A good number of Gambians will not succumb to that.
Yes, no tribal sentiments.
No tribal sentiments. It's only the Maninka clan that are pushing for that, tribalism, saying I'm not Maninka Fasa. That's their words. Let's support our Maninka candidate, because I have seen somebody when they were talking, he said to me, I don't manipulate Imanta Useno Dabo Fasa, Ba Useno Fasa, Itata NPP Fasa. So these are statements that are coming from them that are not helping. What we advocate all the time is that we all should understand that Gambia is one family. We are all interrelated through marriage. Therefore, if you want to bring that, you create a problem in this country. If you say Maninka Fasa, a Maninka married to a Jola, or a Jola married to a Maninka married to a Fula married to a Maninka, and so which tribe are you going to support if we bring the tribalism in politics? That's why we say that the advocacy is always that let's put tribe aside and look at the Gambia and realize and understand that we are Gambians and we have one direction and one focus, that is to develop the Gambia and make the Gambia one people.
Let me bring you to your own party now, the APRC. Were you going to die out? Or you were stronger now when you decide to join NPP? Or shall I say, let me reverse this question and bring it in a chronological order. What led to the split?
The split, the group that's...
Yes, what brought about one side going this way and the other side going the other way?
Okay, what brought it is all about during when the APRC National Executive went into alliance with Barrow, with President Barrow's MPP. This is because a fraction of the APRC militants believe that they should not support President Barrow because what have transpired during the first 2 years of his office, when you have the likes of my Fati as Interior Minister, you have Uchenno Dabo as Foreign Minister and then Vice President. A lot of issues happen around Fonyi. You have the incident in Kanfenda where the people of Fonyi have been arrested, taken to court, some of them been jailed. You have the incidents in Kanilai where even Aruna Jatta was shot dead, and up to today there's no commission of inquiry and no report being presented. There are a lot of issues that have happened around in Fonyi, where the people from Fonyi have been bullied, malhandled, you name them. All issues happened around Fonyi. So they feel that because of that, APRC should not go into alliance with NPP. But some of us knew that the champions of that group are not APRC. They are agents of UDP. The likes of Lamin Tamba, I'll mention names. If he deny, I'm open to debate. I can sit with him on a platform and I can prove him that he is an agent of UDP.
He has a mission.
He has a mission and he wants to accomplish his mission. His first mission was to get the agenda out of this country and get the APRC government down, which he did by fighting APRC both when he was in UK, organizing demonstrations, making live videos on Facebook, sending wrong information, to people, castigating and tarnishing the image of President Jammeh and the APRC. When Yahya Jammeh left even the source of this country, he continued making posts against the APRC and Yahya Jammeh until when his family was attacked, in the 40s. Then he came and joined the APRC. Like when they used to say, if you can beat the system, you join the system to destroy the system. And that's what he did. He came and joined the APRC, knowing very well that APRC is getting strong, and if somebody didn't come into their midst to destabilize them, they can take over this country again. So knowing that very well, he came in and then became an APRC supporter. He was even part of our UK branch executive as our PRO, which he is removed. Then he started mobilizing people, the likes of Pamurumbo, the Jerendin Sanyans, you name them, to form a rebellion against the national executive. And then when they formed that rebellion, he proposed, because some of them during the consultation, because what the National Executive Committee did was, during the Congress, we had a mandate by the National Congress of the APRC that the APRC, part of the resolutions, if we knew that we cannot contest for presidency, we can go into alliance with any political party, putting into consideration the supreme interest of the party. And that mandate was given to the National Executive Committee by Congress. But Fabakary Tombon Chata, the party leader of the APRC, said, after a series of consultations with different political parties, said, after finalizing with NPP, he said, I will not endorse any alliance without making a consultation. As much as we have the mandate from Congress, I feel it is important we go back to the stakeholders, talk to them, put all the issues to them, and then they endorse which one they endorse, we go by that. So then they rolled out a program, starting from West Coast region. We have a meeting in Marakisa. We went to Banjul, KMC, then Banjul, all over the country. And 99.9% of the APRC stakeholders all endorsed the alliance between APRC and NPP. Because all the parties that we had talks with they put all those things on the table. And then now the stakeholders said, out of these 4 or 5 parties that we put on the table, we are endorsing NPP. And when we came back, we made a review of the tour, and then when we got the report, looking at the report, we came to realize that 99.9% of the stakeholders have endorsed the APRC-NPP alliance. We endorsed it, and then we asked our committee to go and sign the agreement, and it was sealed and signed between President Barrow and Fabakary Tombon Jatta, the party leader. And that agreement is signed, bearing in mind the interests of the party and the interests of the former president, His Excellency Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, which is unfortunate. Some of these disgruntled militants of the party are misleading him. They are misleading him and are misinforming him, and that is going to lead him into another issue, which I don't want to talk about it here, because there are other mechanisms or things, frameworks that we are putting in place to remedy the situation.
You have decided to lend support to the National People's Party, which President Barrow finds it like he's now on a rose bed. He's actually very comfortable now with the hope and confirmation that he's got the presidency in his hands for a second term by virtue of what we saw during the nomination. APRC is good at one thing: mobilization. You came up with the numbers on nomination day. Yes. How did you do that?
Malik, APRC has the best strategy for mobilization, and which we don't want to share in platforms because, we have opponents.
Okay.
And we want to maintain our party, and that's why we are consolidating our gains. Come 2022 onwards, you will see a different APRC, you will see a rebrand APRC, you see APRC that will move this country forward, even, in partnership with NPP. The capacity is there, the resources, the know-how is there.
I don't think you're bothered by the splinter group that have decided, well, they were given directives by former President Yahya Jammeh to join, in the first instance, Sheikh Tijan Aidara of Ghana Party. But then later on, former President Jammeh told them to support the GDC and Mama Kande. And I'm sure some of these people may have some regrets, or if you talk to them, they might be able, they may change their minds. Do you think something like that is likely to happen?
As we speak, a good number of them, I think in average, I can say around 80 to 85% of those that have gone against the alliance are back. Day before yesterday, the party leader was in Kerawan, where 37 villages where you have this non-alliance movement towards NPP, APRC alliance was a stronghold. They all came back and apologized to the party leader and said, we have been misled, we are here and we are behind you. Even the Fonyi, where they claim that they had the grip, 90% of the people of Fonyi that have voters card are behind Fabakal Tomanjan and his executive, which I knew because I was in Fonyi. I went to Fonyi, I had a meeting, we had a series of meetings in Fonyi, we had a tour in Fonyi, so I knew what is in Fonyi. And as we speak, our team is in Fonyi and they are working. And before the elections, 100% Fonyi will vote for President Barrow.
All right, now we're going to do something, and we're going to look at the 6 presidential aspirants vying for the presidency. And we'll begin with, let's say, the independent candidates before we come to the political parties. SFL vying for the presidency. What do you make of Fall?
For SFL, I think he's insulting Gambian people.
Their intelligence.
He's not only insulting the intelligence of the Gambian people, but any serious and genuine Gambian should not vote for SFL. Because if SFL, part of the conditions of the IEC is you have to declare your assets. If SFL can invest a $50 million project in Senegal, not even the Gambia where you live, you are not creating, you are saying that you don't want to boost the economy of your country, you don't want to create employment for your young people, you don't want to, support, give development to your country, you want to invest in a neighboring country.
$50 million
US dollars. Meaning that, you don't care about the Gambian people, you don't care the youths, you don't care about women, you don't care anything. Even, I doubt even where Esa has a home in Gambia. I believe even where he's staying in Bruce Lee, he's renting that house. That's my belief. Because I cannot understand, you go and invest in a foreign country, $50 million US dollars, live in your own country. You said, yes, your country is insecure, your country doesn't have, for me, I'm not seeing, I think serious Gambians should not vote for Esa.
The spirit of patriotism is not in him.
It's not in him. And secondly, if you vote Esa into office, he might even take our money and go and invest in Senegal. He might even take Gambia and annex it to Senegal. It's possible because he was his investment in Senegal. Even his wife is a Senegalese. So he has nothing in Gambia. Only family members.
Ibrahim Jammeh and your National Unity Party. He's a new kid on the block. He's coming into politics for the first time. He was Gambia Civil Aviation Authority Managing Director or Director General, one of the two titles. How can you describe his political situation as we head to December 4th?
Yes, Abdullah Jammeh, I know him because I've interacted with him many times during the Jammeh era. He was very supportive to some of our activities that we've been doing. But when it comes to these 2021 presidential elections, I think it is too early for Abdullah to go to the rings. I need to work hard to contribute to the development of this country first. Because Gambians you need to show the Gambians that you have the capacity to run this country. Yes, qualification, experience as Director General of the Civil Aviation for many years is one thing, but your input in the socio-economic development is another thing. And if anybody wants to run for president in this country, you must begin from there. You must show the Gambian people that you have the capacity to contribute to the socio-economic development of this country. And that is lacking with Ablai, which we need to work on. And probably try to, work on the next elections, but not this one. For this one, maybe he wants to make a name, that people will recognize that, yes, he is interested in running for presidency. And then I will advise him to continue to work into the socio-economic, to contribute to the socio-economic development of this country. And if he does that, Gambian people will see his input and they might endorse him for the next elections, but not this one.
This is the second time Halifa Sallah is becoming flag bearer for the PDOIS, and he's been in the struggle since 1986, quite a long time, and he's already made a vow that this is the last time he is going to get himself engaged in politics.
Yes.
It's a big statement, huh?
Oh yes, because he knew that he's going to lose, and that's it. He knows that. He knows that, you see, the advocacy that Doi is bringing is not what the Gambian people need.
They won't buy it.
They won't buy it. And then look at, and the one thing they fail to understand, all of them have been tested, but they are part of the coalition. They have been tested by the Gambian people. They've been entrusted with the affairs of this country for 5 years, with President Barrow. Down the line, they all, break away, showing their incapacity, their incompetency, and showing the Gambian people that they don't have the capacity, to run this country. So we cannot give you our country for 5 years, 1 month or 1 year down the line, you say, no, I can do this, I'll wait until when I become president. What are you telling us?
We move away from Halifa Sallah. GDC Mama Kande twice he beat the incumbent in National Assembly elections. That's Adama Barrow. And of course, right now he's got the splinter group of the APRC with him. Whatever their numbers are, we do not know. We cannot quantify it. But Mama Kande, he was the one who put the salt in Jammeh's soup in 2016.
Yes, Mama Kande believed that he will win this presidential election, and that's a dream, simply because if Mama remembers, 2016, 90% of his votes came from the APRC, and we learned our lesson, because he's the one who removed the APRC government, he's the one who brought down the Jammeh, not the coalition. Because if you take Mama's, 90% of Mama's votes added to Jammeh, Jammeh have won. But because 90% of the APRC militants voted for Mama, that's why Jammeh lost. And then, over time, the APRC-led executive, Fabakary Tombong Jatta's led executive, had worked tirelessly to regain its militants during the past 4 years. That's why, come this presidential election, Mama is going down. He will not, he got, is it 17 or 18%? This coming election, Mama will be between 5 to 7%. Mark my words.
We move on to the two biggest contenders now. Right, let's take the UDP. Ousseynou Dabo, he's got a lot of people, UDP's got a lot of people in the system as we speak. Do you think that will add weight to the party? Do you think UDP will emerge stronger this time in the elections?
Alaji Malik, if you look at statistics from 1996 to date, UDP's percentage have been declining from 43% coming down to 13, is it 13 or 17%, if I don't remember, in 2011. And 2016, If it was not the coalition, UDP might even go to 7%.
Rightly said.
Okay, but because the coalition came together, then they won the elections. When Mama Kande came and then split the votes of the APRC, the coalition got the opportunity to win the elections. And UDP, to be honest, will not win these elections. Simply because people are aware the reason why President Barrow could not deliver the promises he made to the Gambian people is because of UDP. Remember, government is three-arm. You have the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature, which dictates whatever happens in terms of development, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of socio-economic development. And President Barrow have developed its 5-year development plan, which he presented to the National Assembly for endorsement. Guess what? It was through the trust bill. Who did that? The UDP, because they formed the majority of the National Assembly. Then they had about 37 or 40 something seats. Before the split of the 8 or 10 joining President Barrow, now they have about 31, which they cannot make a decision anymore. So this makes it, because Oseno made a pronouncement that he's going to make this country ungovernable for Barrow. He relied on the National Assembly to do that. Meaning that Barrow could not deliver services to the Gambian people because he needs to get endorsement from the National Assembly, which Gambians are aware of. This is why the Gambians are saying they're not going to vote for UDP.
As we come towards the end of this program, let's look at NPP. It's now got the support of the APRC. There were some parties out there. Yes. However insignificant they are, they have their little numbers to add on to it. What are the chances of President Adama Barrow?
Landslide victory.
Landslide victory.
Yes, because everybody knows that APRC is the biggest party in this country, and we still maintain our support base. And all our party militants are going to vote for President Barrow, that I can assure you, because we have done our work and we have our team on the ground. In every corner of this country, the APRC structures are operating and they are mobilizing, and our people are going to vote for President Barrow, and we're going to elect President Barrow come 5th of December 2021 with clear-cut reasons. The reasons are for reconciliation and development. This is why APRC and NPP came together. Knowing that APRC has an experience of 20 years in government, if you look at the leadership of the APRC, all of them have occupied top positions in this country. Be it Speaker of the National Assembly, we have the likes of NJC among us, we have Fabakary Tombong Jatta, who have been majority leader for 10 years, and head of government business at the Assembly, who also doubles as the head of the Pan-African Assembly for 10 years. So we have the capacity. They are there. The knowledge is there, the experience is there. We have some of our former ministers, the likes of Bala Gaba Aksonman, the likes of Omar C, the likes of Ismail Sanyang, you name them. These are all people that are still with the APRC. And this is a reservoir where you can tap resources, that you can do anything you want to develop this country. So President Barrow definitely will deliver come 2022 onwards.
Finally, your word to your militants.
Yes. The advice we have is that every APRC militant should vote for President Barrow, because President Barrow is the APRC flag bearer. Therefore, we are urging every militant to vote for President Barrow. The reason why you are voting for President Barrow is for reconciliation. We want to unify the country, for development. Remember, Malik, APRC has a program from 2017 to 2021. And that program was free university education, infrastructural development, road networking, bridges, you name them. Education, youth, health, free care, health services. These are all programs that APRC laid for 2017, 2021. But when we were out of office, President Barrow's manifesto for 2022 to 2026 have indicated some of those programs that APRC have highlighted as programs that if they go into government, they can implement. This brought the alliance We looked at their manifesto, we looked at our manifesto, it's the same. We said, then this is a serious partner that we can go in. We have the same vision, we have the same objective. Then we can work together to move this country forward. And in addition to that, in order to maintain peace and tranquility in this country, we have to unify the people of this country. And in doing so, the two parties should come together and build and then we have a reconciliation, and then we move forward. This is what will give Barrow an edge over every political party. Some of these political parties wanted APRC to support them. When it failed, they all made noise. When you remember, when we have the alliance with NPP, they all made noise. Today, the fraction is supporting some of them, and they're championing it. They knew that whoever goes into marriage with APRC, you are president. So, and they don't want Barrow to be president. But whatever happens, whether they like it or not, Barrow is going to be crowned president, because APRC is already taking him to State House.
Lamin Badjie, it's been a pleasure to have you on Politico. Thank you so much for talking to me.
It's a pleasure.
That was Momodou Lamin Badjie, a militant and of course a member of the APRC, who was talking to me, Malik Jones, in Politico. We've been broadcasting live today. We'll enjoy your comments. When you view it now and afterwards, please send in your comments. We want to say thank you to the crew of the in-depth media, and of course for all your support. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Yen mom, you know, get a fair lumber. It was okay.